The camping season's here, the temperature's heating up, and the last thing you want to be left with is your air conditioners not working. Hey guys, it's Izzy from Endless RVing, the channel that brings you the best in RV DIYs, product reviews, RV tours, and so much more. If you're new to the channel, we ask you to subscribe below and hit the notification bell. And if you're back for another video, we thank you guys for coming back. In this video, guys, we are going to show you some simple steps you can take to make sure that your air conditioners are maintained and working at the top level. All right, guys, we are at a rooftop right now. It is about 85 degrees outside, so what a perfect time to check out our air conditioners and make sure everything is working a-okay. Okay, so the first thing you want to do, you want to cut off the power, your shore power. Make sure there's no juice going to this before you take the top off of this, okay? So our RV is equipped with dual Dometic Penguin 2 13,500 BTU air conditioners with heat pumps. And from my understanding, these things are pretty simple. There's really not much that goes wrong with them. And usually when something major goes wrong, you're just going to replace them. What often happens is that these are neglected as far as maintenance, and that could reduce efficiency, and it could potentially cause some leaks if there's certain things that you don't do. Okay, so some things you're going to need to do this job, all right, and we will show you over here, okay? We have this stuff, it's called New Calgon. It's a evap foam no rinse. It's a evaporator coil cleaner. It's super simple. It's no rinsing. That's why I like it. You have a air conditioning coil brush. It's just a stiff bristle nylon brush, a drill here, and then these are air conditioning fin combs. Just in case there's any fins that are bent, this will straighten them out. There's different sizes. All of these things are available, guys, on Amazon, and we will link them below. So let's get right into it. First thing you're going to do, like I said earlier, you're going to cut off the power to your motorhome. You don't want to get shocked, okay? So this is going to be specific for our setup, but this kind of applies generally to most RV air conditioners. They kind of mostly work the same. So there's usually going to be some screws to take this cover off, okay? For us, it's 4 screws. Very simple, guys. All right, so we got those 4 screws off. So the cover itself, guys, now this is black, right? It's just attracting heat. It's getting beaten down by the heat. You can already see it's starting to fade. I don't know if you can see that or not. But when you want to look at this cover, you want to make sure it's not brittle. There's no cracks in them. If it is, you're going to want to replace it. These are relatively inexpensive. They're probably like $50, $60. Whatever your manufacturer is for your air conditioner will have these cover replacements. So I looked at this. It'll be good for another season or so, or maybe more. But it is starting to show a little bit of wear. So here we are on the inside of the air conditioning unit itself. Now, this particular air conditioning unit, it's pretty sealed up. There's going to be a couple of things you want to do, right? So there's some bolts here. I don't know if you can see these bolts, right? These bolts, I believe like 4 or so of them. So what you want to do, you want to just kind of give a little lift. This should be down tight. It shouldn't be moving, okay? So if it's moving, you have to tighten up those bolts, because if there is some kind of movement, that's going to be an area where you might get water intrusion into your motorhome. Also, you're not going to be able to see this on camera, but underneath this, there is a rubber seal, and basically like a rubber foam seal. That rubber foam seal is what's keeping water out of your motorhome. So you're going to want to replace that every couple of years, okay? You're going to want to kind of lift this up and just replace that rubber seal. We're good right now because this is only a year old, but you definitely want to check that. So you've checked everything. This is nice and tight, okay? A couple more things you want to check, all right? So there's a motor here, and you see there's like a rod coming out. You want to make sure over here that this moves freely, which it does. If it's stiff or there's any kind of problems with it, then you're going to probably want to take it to like an RV place, unless you're really good with this stuff. I'm not, but this looks like it's okay. You want to make sure it's clean. There's no dust or anything. Now, just keep in mind, guys, this is pretty clean because I just cleaned this a couple of weeks ago. I'm strictly doing this for, you know, the video, okay? Now, you want to look at your fins, your air conditioning fins here, right? You see some of these are bent, guys. That's from the factory. That is not from me, but just try to straighten some of them out. This is not too bad. This is just the top, but you just want to make sure all these fins are nice and straight. Behind these fins are your evaporator coils. and that's what's going to give the air conditioning exchange is going to cause the air to be cold, right? So what's really important is that this stuff is clean, right? If there's dust, if there's spider webs, if there's hornet's nest in here, it's going to reduce the efficiency of all this. Actually, when I opened this up a couple of weeks ago, there was a lot of spider webs, pine leaves, and crap like that in there. I cleaned it all out, and it's looking pretty good right now. But I'm going to show you how I did that, okay? All you want to do is, before I spray this, you want to make sure around the base that everything is clean, okay? There is a drip pan in here. You're going to want to make sure that that's not clogged up. So what happens is, when you turn the air conditioning on, the reaction of the air turning cold causes condensation, and that condensation has to be released, right? And it's going to be released on the drip pan, and it should start coming out. If there's any kind of clogging, if there's dirt, leaves, that may not happen. You start getting stuff backed up, and that may cause a leak or some inefficiency. So this is all cleaned up. It's looking good. Just make sure that everything, there's no wires eaten up. If you see frayed wires that maybe a squirrel got in there, I don't know. Just make sure everything is looking okay. If something looks wrong, take it to a professional. Now, how we're going to handle cleaning these fins here. So I'm going to use this stuff, and it's almost empty because I used it already. Shake it up. This stuff is self-cleaning, okay? So it's going to foam up. You just want to spray all your coils, your fins and the coils behind them. And it has a nice smell to it.
Ooh, that does smell good.
Yeah, you spray it all around. Spray it on the inside. It's already running out. But trust me, guys, we did this already. And I will tell you the reason why I did it, okay? We were out driveway camping. And we turned the heat pumps on, right? And there was like this nasty, like wet sock smell. And it was because I think these things were just dirty, right? So I came up, cleaned everything out. You could just spray it and let it run. And then within an hour or so, when we ran it again, the smell was gone, okay? So this just needs to, like I said, be sprayed here. Once you run the air conditioner and the condensation starts forming, it should clean itself up. You could also just use a little hand pump sprayer if you want to get this stuff out, and just spray it, and it'll just wash itself away, okay? So we're going to do this for both air conditioners, and then we're going to go on the inside and show you what you need to do on the inside of the RV to make sure everything is running efficiently. Guys, one thing I forgot to say, because this was so clean already, the brush, right? So this is a great brush. If you have dirt in here, it's a stiff nylon brush. You can just go in, brush the stuff out, and since it's stiff enough, it'll break up anything that may be in there. If you want to have like a little handheld vac, or even like a can of compressed air, you can just brush everything up, blow it out. I didn't use it because these were already clean, but this is definitely a tool that you're going to need. All right, guys, so once you're done spraying all the evap cleaner, the coil cleaner, put your cover back on.
Ow, that was my knee.
I'm sorry.
Don't put it on your wife's knee.
Don't put it on your wife's knee. This makes it real easy, guys, because the holes line up nicely here. So I'm going to put them back on, put the 4 screws back on. I do recommend, guys, occasionally hitting this stuff with like a 303 protectant, some kind of UV protectant, or even waxing it. It's just going to prolong the life of this, because this is really hot right now. So I would recommend doing that. All right, guys, we are inside the motorhome now. We kicked the generator on to exercise it a little bit, and the air conditioners are running. So it's blowing out really cold, okay? So basically our air conditioner system, it's ducted. We don't have the big square in the middle. And how it works, we have an intake, and then when we have, goes through the air conditioning, gets cooled, and then it blows out cold air over here, okay? So every one of our intakes, there's gonna be a foam filter. This is gonna be specific for ours, but it kind of works the same. If you have those square mounted air conditioners in your roof, you're just gonna usually pull it down. There's gonna be some kind of foam filter in there too. So really important, guys, you want to make sure these filters are clean. Ours are already starting to get a little dusty. I don't know if you could see that. And we clean these pretty often, but you can see they're getting a little dusty. So basically you want to make sure you just wash these out with a little bit of water, or a blower, an air blower. Make sure it's clean, because you don't want any dust and lint getting in there and clogging up your ducting. Becomes inefficient. You don't want that, okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to clean this up. Once it's done, I will put it back in, okay? Snap it back. and you should be good to go, guys. I would recommend doing this stuff up top at least once a year, okay? This is going to depend on, as far as the foam, how often you use it. If you're using your RV regularly, I would check it once a month, okay? So once we're done here, we're going to go back up top, make sure we can see condensation coming out, make sure that liquid's escaping and it's not getting clogged up, and then we should be good to go. So I'm going to leave right here. We'll meet you back up top. All right, guys, so we went up on the roof and the condensation's coming out, flowing freely, letting us know that the drain pan is clear and not plugged up. So these are some simple tips to make sure that your RV air conditioners are working and working efficiently. If you know somebody that's having some issues, or maybe if they just don't know how to maintain their air conditioners, feel free to share this video with them. Also in the comments below, let us know what you think about what you do to keep your air conditioners up to par. And to the left of us, we will be linking our RV DIYs and RV essentials. And for myself and MJ, we thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you on the road.